walk, just strut with his, comb slick back hair, smoking in the hospital wing. It's fantastic. But this little meet cute is great.
Yeah, well, and I think too that by this point in the film, you basically have all of the films that you're going to be watching. You have this romance story between Jack and Sally. You have Jack's sort of technical side and his process with the equipment and his job, and then you also have this giant political assassination that just went down and the immediate attempt to cover it up, which you are seeing here, where even McRyan's people are coming to him and being like, please don't talk about the girl that was in the car. And he's just like, well, that is what happened, isn't it? Like, that's the truth. She was in the car. And he's like, what difference does that make to you? His family would rather not know.
Family.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna, just put a bad light on his name. And he even encourages him to, like, both of them slip out together. Which I guess kind of propels him to help her as well, because now he feels like, well, what is this really? There's something really strange going on, and she's obviously directly connected to it, and he just feels he's got a little crush, of course, so he feels like he wants to help her out. I also love the amazing another great split diopter shot where Travolta goes out of the room. I think it's after he meets Sally. And you see his face. The
two guys are talking about him
behind him. Yeah. And they're talking about him. So they're looking at him and he kind of like glances over at them. It's just, he finds so many great ways of, it's a simple idea, but it's just so visually stunning. And it's, there's no real dialogue. You don't really understand what they're saying. You just know exactly what he's capturing there, is that there's this kind of paranoia that everybody's talking about him right now. It's just great.
Well,
I love it.
And that is, I think, the key to this movie. The fact that this combines, one, you have literal like motion picture and sound reconstruction, which we are going to see when Travolta starts going back to his tapes to try to piece together what happened, because this story that they're telling doesn't make sense to him, that there was just a blowout and he ran off the road and it was an accident, but also combining that with, showing it to you that, like, this is an inherently artificial thing. Someone is behind the scenes. There is a person constructing this thing that you watch. We know that from the opening scene. And then the way that he just directly compares that to the artificiality and construction of what is, this political world that these characters are living in. Is the thing that takes it to kind of like the next level, because he is literally witness to a political murder and a subsequent cover up, and he's actually living in it. And this is, I think, the main difference to me, even than typical De Palma fashion, because he's made many great films that operate within what I would call like dream worlds, to the point of characters like not knowing if they're awake or not. Like, think about Carrie and Dressed to Kill both end the exact same way, with characters not being able to tell the real world from this fantasy one in a way. Or even Body Double, which has long stretches of it, like the big relax music video scene where like his life literally becomes a movie in that situation. But this is one where people are on the periphery and they see the dream world actually being crafted, and they interrupt that process and they actually see the ugly reality behind that. And that to me is the thing that is really, really intriguing about, his focus on construction and being a technician, and sequences of him literally showing you how to assemble a movie. If you just wanted to know in the analog days how to cut a piece of film and sync it up with audio, like this is practically a tutorial film.
He gets hyper specific with what he focuses on when it comes to just the building of the film, and how he times it and connects it with the audio that he's captured. I love that sequence so much.
Yeah, or that sequence of him recreating his own experience and subjective space by listening to his own tape. And with the headphones on, he's like, you can see him like using the pencil as the mic, and it's like literally he's sitting in a motel like listening to his own tape, and it's actually conjuring images from his eye line, which were previously from the scene that we already watched, but we never saw it from these shots. We never saw his direct POV of that scene. You can literally see him.
So
Go ahead.
this is where the obsession just seems to really begin for him. And I love that it shows him, just obsessed all night long. He's like you said, pointing the pencil. I love that little detail. It was so great to represent the microphone. He has an amazing shot where he like superimposes Travolta's face on the left side, and you see the tire on the right side blow out or get shot out, and it's like this. It's just a great way visually to show, like, get inside of Travolta's head. He's visualizing what happened. He's trying to get like an up close view or what he thinks happened. And then when they wake up and Sally's feeling like a little bit better, he's like, you have to listen to this. I've been listening to it for like 8 hours straight all night. And she doesn't want to whatsoever. She's like, why would I want to listen to this? I almost was killed last night. And like, it's just going to make me uncomfortable. And I like that because like before I said he does like have a crush on her and he wants to help her in some way. But then this, I think, directly translates to what we get with the diner scene later on, where, he actually feels guilty about his past. And that's really more likely the motivation. It's probably a mix of both.
Yeah, because he used to
really
he used to work
where
with
she wants to forget.
He used to work with the I guess the undercover cops, or the people who were investigating police corruption and trying to like infiltrate the mob and stuff like that. And there's an amazing sequence where he is driving behind the car.